Today I'm playing the $1,000 tag team event with none other than my favorite poker vlogger, Slow Poker.
Greg goes all in slowly.
John, aka Slow, might seem like he likes me now, but that's not gonna last for too long. For those who don't know, the tag team event of the WSOP is an event during which two players can share the same stack, and you can decide how and when you rotate shifts, if at all. Who do you think is gonna lose our stack, me or Slow Poker? Watch till the end to find out, and remember to like and subscribe. 10 a.m. start, Slow is taking the first shift, and I'm relieving him at 11 a.m. 20k starting stacks, let's go.
Fuck, I overslept. I'm so sorry, Slow. I'm sorry, Slow. I'm going fast.
Alright, Slow Poker has done a great job with our stack, currently sitting on 24.3k from a starting stack of 20k, and in honor of Slow Poker, let's do this in the style of Slow Poker. I have no career and no family, but I do have anxiety. Blinds are 100, 200. I've got king queen suited in the small blind. Cutoff makes it 500. I 3-bet to 1700 and the cutoff calls. Heads up to a flop in the 3-bet pot out of position. Flop comes jack 8 4 1 diamond. Villain only has 6k behind. I take a stab for 1.1k. Cutoff jams. I fold. Blinds are up 200, 300. I've got king 10 offsuit in the big blind. Hijack opens to 800. I call. Heads up to a flop out of position. Flop comes jack 9 8 rainbow. I have an open-ended straight draw. I check. Hijack checks. The turn is the 8 of clubs. I semi-bluff 1k. Hijack calls. The turn is the king of clubs, bringing in the flush but giving me top pair. I check. Hijack bets 4k. I call. Hijack mucks. I messed up this hand in the best way. I'm under the gun +1 with ace king suited. I raised to 600. Psych! Turns out under the gun had already opened to 600 and I just called. Whoops. Button calls and now small blind squeezes to 3.9k. Under the gun folds. Ace king suited has more playability post flop than offsuit, so I call. And button calls, leaving only 2k behind. 3 ways to a flop. Flop is 9 jack 3 rainbow, no heart. Small blind checks. I check. Button goes all in for 2k. Small blind rejams for 18k. I fold. Button has ace 3 suited for a pair of 3s and small blind has kings. Kings hold, but I lost the minimum, so actually, let's consider this a win. And that's why you should always flat ace king. Big bluff incoming! I'm in the small blind with king 7 of spades. Button raises to 600. I 3-bet bluff to 2100. Button calls. Heads up to a flop. Flop comes jack 4 3 2 hearts. I c-bet 1.2k and button calls. Turn is the ace of diamonds. I unblock diamonds and heart draws. Ace is good for my range. I can get better king highs to fold. I blast 4k and button folds. So far things are going just fine. I have about 25k chips, just about what Slow had left me. This is my last hand before Slow comes back, and it's my last chance to give him a larger stack than he left it at. It's a lot of pressure, so you know I'm not going to play this hand optimally. Blinds are up 200, 400. I raise the button with ace 4 offsuit and big blind calls. Flop is queen 3 3 2 hearts. Big blind checks. I check. Turn is the king of spades. Big blind checks again. I bet 800 and big blind calls. River is the 10 of clubs. Big blind checks. I bet 2.5k and
I thought it was a jack. Nice one. Sorry, John.
And with that, I left Slow Poker with 19.5k chips, almost 5k less than he had left me. It was at this point I realized that Dad was disappointed in me.
1 hour later.
Dad may be disappointed in me, but I'm proud of him. He managed to spin the stack up to 36k, almost double starting stack. This is my second chance to make him proud of me, and this is the hand to do it with. Blinds are up 300, 500. I'm in the hijack with ace queen offsuit. Early position opens to 1k. Low jack 3 bets to 2.5k. I call the 2.5k and early position calls. 3 ways to a flop of 6 9 deuce 2 spades, and it checks through. Turn is the ace of spades, giving me top pair but bringing in the flush. Early position bets 3k. Low jack folds and I call. River is the 9 of diamonds. Early position bets 9k and I call. If I win this pot, we'll have like 50k in chips. And villain shows jack 10 of spades for a flush. We're now down to 17k. Nothing too interesting happened during my second shift here, and after an hour, John took over a chip stack shorter than he left it for the second time, and I take a moment to reflect.
I think something that's really cool about the tag team event is just that the dynamic is so interesting. It's like you want to do well for your team and you feel bad when you like lose chips. But I think the best way to approach it is just to have instant forgiveness for one another, because you know you might be losing all of the chips right now, but they might lose all the chips later, and you might triple up. Who knows, right? Who knows? So instant forgiveness. So what I'm saying is, John, please forgive me.
I return again to more chips than I had left, and John has left me about 20k chips, about starting stack. Blinds are now up to 400, 800, so I've got about 25 big blinds. I'm about to go all in with this hand. Late position, who only has about 15 big blinds, opens to 1.6k. It folds to me and I jam for 15 big blinds effective, and he snaps. Oh no, but I'm up against ace-8 offsuit. We're dominating him. One time, hold. I want to make my dad proud.
Oh, come on.
Emotional damage.
We're down to dust, just 8k in chips, or 10 big blinds. Well, time to get it all in with 7 high and double up. I'm in the big blind with 7-4 suited. Button opens to 1.6k, and I defend off of a 10 big blind stack. If I connect with this board in any way, it's going in. Flop comes 10, 3, 8, 2 spades. I have a flush draw. I check to Button, who bets 1.3k, and I rip it all in with my remaining 6.5k. And Button snap calls with ace 10 with top pair, top kicker to make my dad proud. Spade one time. Death.
Good game. Sorry, John. Fuck.
You can play that.
No, I don't think so either. The worst part about busting was that the moment I got busted, the guy says, "Can I get a photo with you?" We took a selfie, and I flipped him off.
In for 1,000, out for 0.
John, are you mad at me for punting our stack?